Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the Quarantine Challenge, week 1, day 4. Today we're gonna focus on lower leg strengthening and balance. Super important. If you've ever had any injury like a calf injury, Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, really anything to do with like the ankles or your feet, this is gonna be a very helpful video for you. We're gonna go through some exercises that will help strengthen your lower legs, your ankles, all those little muscles and tendons in there, prevent those injuries and make you a stronger runner overall. Let's do it. So let's start with a very simple but effective balance drill. So what you're gonna do, take your shoes off. This one's a little bit more effective if you don't have shoes on to actually support you. What we're gonna do is, so excuse the dog hair that's all over my socks here. We're basically going to go onto one foot where you want the actual pressure to be. You don't wanna be back on your heels, not way up on your toes. You wanna be right on that midfoot, like right about here. That's where you wanna be focusing most of your weight, and then just lift that other foot up and just balance. What you can see, like if you actually look at my foot right here, it's working pretty hard to balance me right now. All those little tendons in my ankle and my foot are working to balance me right now. So I'm just holding that up. I'm just kind of standing here, focusing on keeping that balance, and then I can do the same thing on the other foot. Really focus that weight on the midfoot. Slight bend in the knee and lift that other foot up. I would do this for about 30 seconds. And then if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, the best thing to do is to just close your eyes. So as soon as you close your eyes, you'll see all those little stabilizer muscles are having to work that much harder. And then if you really want to add a challenge, you can like close your eyes and you can kind of like move your arms around, just like really throw yourself off balance. That's all going to help to really focus on those like little ankle tendons and everything that are gonna help your stability. Great way to do this, to implement this, is not necessarily in like a routine like this. Every morning and night, hopefully, when you're brushing your teeth, do it with while balancing on each foot. For me, it helps just to remember like to actually brush for enough time, but also it's just a nice like routine way to remember it and do it each day. So now let's ramp up the intensity a little bit. What we're gonna do, put the shoes back on, and with this one, you're gonna do the same exact balance, like the same exact balance drill, except what you're gonna do is every like couple seconds, you're gonna switch it. Switch it to the other foot, switch, switch. And you really wanna let one leg fall and really bring that other one up with a little bit of intensity. So I'm just switching back and forth, keeping that weight on the midfoot, just focusing on my balance, not letting myself get real wobbly. And then we're gonna actually ramp that up a little bit more. We're gonna do that same drill, but we're gonna do it moving forward. So this is gonna really work on, while we're actually moving, we're gonna keep that stability and keep that midfoot strike, strengthen all those ankle tendons and everything like that. So essentially, same exact thing as I was just doing, moving forward. So I'm switching, really pulling up, letting that foot drop. So I actually just felt almost a little crack in the ankle, which is pretty normal. Same thing going back. So we really want quick movement. You don't want to move forward super quickly, but you do want to move quickly within the drill. All right, now we're gonna do a series of what we call walking drills. The first one is gonna be toe walks. So essentially, you're gonna be way up on the toes as much as you can. You don't wanna just be like slightly up on the toes. Really get your weight up on your toes as much as you can. This is gonna help work like eccentrically load the calves and the feet to prevent, I mean, really all sorts of injuries. Calf, Achilles, plantar fascia, all that good stuff. And then what we're gonna do is after 10 steps, you're going to switch to the toes in, as far in as you can go, still up on the toes, and then you're gonna do 10 steps of that and switch to toes pointed out, way up on the toes again. So let's watch that here. So regular toe walks. Toes pointed in. And out. All right, now we're actually gonna do pretty much the exact same formula, except back on the heels. What this is gonna do, this is gonna focus on more like the shins, all those little muscles around the shins to prevent shin splints. Super important. So same thing, toes pointed forwards first, but back on the heels, way back on the heels, then toes pointed in, and then toes pointed out. 10 steps each. Here we go. In. and then out. Now last one, if you've ever had an Achilles injury before, if you've ever successfully gotten through an Achilles injury before, then you've probably done these eccentric heel drops. So you're gonna need some sort of surface. I'm using a bench. Don't really recommend this because it's not necessarily like the perfect surface to use, but it's pretty stable, and then you need something to hang on to. You don't just wanna have like a bench and then nothing to grab onto. So I'm gonna hop up on the bench, and essentially what you're gonna do is almost like the opposite of a calf raise. So with calf raises, you know, you're using your calf strength to lift yourself up. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're actually going to lower ourselves down nice and slow, and then get to that point where the heels are like way below where the toes are, way below the surface that you're on. And we're actually gonna do this, instead of both feet at once, we're gonna do this 1 foot at a time. For the first set, keep your knee, not like locked, but definitely the legs straight. And then the next set, we're gonna do a slight bend in the knee, which is gonna give a little bit of a different stimulus. So, I'm dropping nice and slow till that heel goes below the toe. Then I'm using my other foot to lift myself back up, dropping slow. Other foot to lift back up, dropping slow. Other foot, lift up, dropping slow. Do about 10 to 15 of these. You might start to feel it way deep in that calf. We're just eccentrically loading that calf. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the other foot and show you, and if you look at my knee, this time instead of my leg being straight, I'm actually gonna have a little bit of a bend in the knee. Once I get to that point where I'm the furthest down, I should like not be able to see my toe. My knee should be like directly over my toe. So let's do that one. So bend in the knee, same thing, lowering down real slow. Other foot to lift myself back up. Bend in the knee, lowering down real slow, eccentrically loading that calf all the way down, back up. Bend in the knee, back up. You want to do 10 to 15 reps of each foot each way. So 10 to 15 reps on each foot, and first 10 or 15 are with a straight leg, and then after that with a bent leg. All right guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do these exercises, really will help strengthen your lower legs, prevent all those such common injuries, Achilles, plantar fasciitis, shin splints, stuff that's so common and takes us out of our running, of our consistency. So if you do this stuff even just once or twice a week, it's gonna make a huge difference in your lower legs. Tune in tomorrow, Friday, we're gonna be talking about power. So this is talking about like our sprint speed, the power of our stride. I know even if you run a marathon, you may not think something like sprint speed is all that important. Definitely is. You need to have that power so that each stride becomes that much more efficient. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys then.